well aware of it. With how fast these weeks go by, they understand we need to play at our peak performance on days like this, and they're doing just that. I think they started off today fantastic. They look the best they've ever looked in my opinion.
They set records. That was a historic performance from
They look like the best team in the world right now. Like today, like we have to say world champions,
put them in
probably
NRG,
Vitality.
you know?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Now the question though is, do you guys have any worries? We talk so much about inconsistencies right now in Europe. Do you have any worries about Vitality falling prey to that?
Yes. Like
Europe's just competitive, right?
It could always happen, you know? Like, and my one worry is maybe getting cocky from the first match. Like, oh, we got this. We took out Barcelona. They took out Dignitas by process of elimination. We take out Dignitas too.
Yeah.
And Dignitas has a chip on their shoulder. They know they have to prove themselves. They're 0-2 right now. They fell to 0-3 in week 2. They have to win this.
I think this is really hard right now, though, for Dignitas. I mean, you've seen them be at the top, and then all of a sudden, everybody's gunning against them. You know, they have a target on their back, and now they have to go to these matches knowing they've lost some with that extra mentality.
I mean, when's the last time we talked about Dignitas being an underdog?
No, never.
It never happened. So for them, this is the first time they're in a position where we're against them, and they're going to have to prove it to us, and that's fantastic. I think it's a growing process for the team, which may help them propel them to a further moment.
See them be human.
Because going back to season 6, they finished 21 wins with only 4 game losses. They already have 6 on the season. So it's definitely not the same Dignitas, and KDOP knows this, and I think all of Vitality knows this, but we know that Dignitas, they want to beat KDOP. They want to prove that KDOP made the wrong move. So far, that's not the case, but it's still early in the season, and they can turn it around.
But you see, these are moments from the Dignitas series. You just see how many times PSG was able to score on them. The defense was something that was so stalwart with Dignitas. They have to figure that out in this match.
But what is it to figure out, though? I mean, one of my criticisms was Yukio, but he was proving me wrong. He was putting shots on net. So I'm wondering what it is.
Got to clean up those double commits first.
Yeah.
That's the first.
Yeah.
Well,
can't keep doing that.
We are about to find out. We will talk no more. Let's hear you guys talk, though, on Twitter at RL Esports, hashtag RLCS7. Get in the action. But our match of the day is here, so let's get into it.
The final match of the day, and honestly, Chiefs, I think it might be the most anticipated match of the day. Dignitas going up against Vitality. And, you know, it has been 2 drastically different stories for these teams. Vitality making history today with their shutout sweep over Barcelona, and Dignitas getting swept by PSG.
And it wasn't even close. I mean, 1-goal game in game number 2 that overtime went to PSG, but PSG, let's be real, they slapped Dignitas. I mean, they won all the challenges in the world. PSG's biggest thing was how can you put so many shots on net and have none of them go in? Well, they all went in that series. And Dignitas, Turbo put out a tweet. He's like, well, you know, at least Game of Thrones comes out because
it's got something to look forward to.
Because, you know, Vitality looked so good.
Yes.
What do? You got to say, all right, fine, let's go out here, let's play a game, let's see what happens. Because you're expecting the world from Vitality.
Yes, absolutely. Vitality, the favorites, definitely coming into this matchup, especially after what we have seen just from today. But in the European region, you know, I've been surprised many times before. So I don't think it's over just yet. This is why we play the games. Dignitas going up against Vitality in game 1. Now KDOP hitting it down right towards Turbo for a clear. Ferry getting a pass towards center. The shot from KDOP interfered with. But a good look there from Vitality as they're already starting to gear up on the attack. Yukio hitting it back down. Ferry beats that player to the ball. Now Yukio with the wave dash, trying to get to the ball in time. Scrub getting challenged at the midfield. Turbo taking over, getting bumped out of the way. And now Ferry again with a good challenge. Yukio getting by KDOP.
And it is good to see the defense from Dignitas already early on able to stop some of the pressure from Renault Vitality, but it really isn't that same suffocating monster of a team that you saw at the start of the day. But as I so often like to say, James, offense wins you games, and right now Renault Vitality pressing, and finally they have to give a little ground.
Yeah, but certainly bad defense can lose you games. I mean, one of the things I thought was a struggle for Dignitas was their backboard defense. But they are doing a good job so far holding this Vitality team at bay. Now out into the middle, Panda over to Turbo on the side. This one's going to go off the ceiling, but Scrub doing a good job of not letting it come out to Yukio. Now, opportunity. Panda over to Yukio. Yukio, this shot, and Fairy Peak is able to make that save.
And all of this offense from Dignitas is coming from one poor touch from Renault Vitality. And if Yukio can win this challenge, maybe they can keep it going, but it will be Violent Panda out to the corner and Yukio to delay, and that will buy time for Vitality to get back in order.
And that one coming out into the middle. Looks like Yukio might have missed it. Now a counterattack chance, though. Yukio trying to get that ball out to the middle. And he's going to be able to find Turbo almost, but K-Dop did get in the way.
K-Dop, he took a sweet time getting there, that's for sure. He almost let Turbo slot that one in right in front of him. But Yukio not able to get up and recover. He's kind of trapped right now in a bit of a no man's land as Fairy Peak will have to respect Yukio. He knew he was playing damage control right there for a moment, but banger from K-Dop and pinched off the crossbar by Violent Panda.
And now a follow-up from Fairy. That one beats the Dignitas defense, and Vitality get on the board first.
It all goes back to that first shot from K-Dop, and that tip straight back up that Turbo Pulsar wasn't able to find a solid clear on. Violent Panda had ball came on, was looking up, and as soon as that ball came down, the shot was already coming at him, and he just couldn't make it in time. That weak clear from Dignitas paying dividends for Vitality.
And Vitality, they're just picking up where they left off against Barcelona, still holding their opponent scoreless, and now getting on the board. Now K-Dop going for the backboard. Panda denies it down to Turbo. Turbo off the ceiling, but Yukio is not in the play. He got demoed by Fairy. Now K-Dop with a shot opportunity, and the bump from Scrub Killa, and he helps Vitality get the second goal of the game.
And yes, this was fantastic with the bump from Scrub Killa, I agree, but it actually goes back to that demo on Yukio from Dignitas in the midfield, because if Yukio doesn't get demoed there, somebody from Dignitas challenges that.
Yeah.
And the execution back the other way was what allowed Vitality to capitalize on that.
Absolutely. That demo was the catalyst in the counterattack. And, you know, K-Dop getting that goal there, scoring against his former team. Now K-Dop going for another goal, gets the dunk. Now follow up from Fairy. Turbo trying to get the read, does get it. Yukio low boost, and he also got bumped out of the play from Turbo, so Dignitas in a precarious spot.
Oh, Scrub a little bit too far forward, and that'll actually give moments notice for Dignitas about what's coming at him, and Yukio's made a great read on the ball to just chuck it into the corner. And if Scrub doesn't cheat up a little bit there, you can really start to see the pressure start to build, and they will catch him off guard, but the shot isn't on target. And Dignitas are just scrambling right now because they have no boost in the tank and they just need room to work with.
And that net, it was ripe for the picking, but just off target. Vitality still, though, 100% controlling the pace of this match, and this one off the backboard up for K-Dop. K-Dop!
Oh, he missed.
Can't find the net again, so accuracy not the greatest, but still the cleanup shot from Scrub, and he'll finally get one through. And Vitality running away with game number one.
Turbo Pulsar having to force a challenge with no boost. Violent Panda having to try and make a save off the back wall with no boost. Yukio the only one on the line. The ball's bouncing around high-low. He can't make a quality read. And Renault Vitality, they've been starving Dignitas for the past minute, and they finally break them down.
And now we're approaching another shutout for Vitality. Again, they made history earlier today with their shutout sweep over Barcelona. Keeping that shutout streak going.
It's just a monstrous performance. Couldn't get anything by those guys.
With a win here, you know, Gibbs was talking about it, they would undoubtedly be the number one team in Europe, probably the number one team in the world. And now Turbo with the cleanup gets on the board for Dignitas. Shutout averted, but game one still looking like it's going to go to Vitality.
Yeah, this one's definitely over. Violent Panda just rolls it around, says, all right, you can have this one, but we'll see what we can do here in the final 20 seconds, maybe get something going back the other way, and they capitalize off a missed clear from Vitality. So Dignitas answers in game number two. The first thing has got to be the boost game, because everything in Rocket League starts with boost. Feels like every time they've had to make a play or they get trapped on defense, they just don't have their own corner boosts. And Vitality just dominating that aspect of the pitch has just limited Dignitas' ability to play defense.
Yeah, and I mean, it just really inhibits you to start that counterattack. Boost is the one thing you need really for a counterattack. And if you don't have it, you just got to try to blast the ball past the defense.
Hope it goes to space.
And exactly, but for Vitality, they've just been shutting all of that down. Dignitas, again, just being dominated in this first game.
And they outshot him somehow.
Yeah.
How did Dignitas outshoot him?
You know, I think it's just one of those situations where they get credit for the shot, but, you know, it's just those...
Don't lie to me, game.
But we're taking another look at this one. This was the second goal for Vitality. K-Dop getting on the board against his former team thanks to that scrub bump mid-air.
Yeah, again, that all goes back to demoing in the midfield, something that both K-Dop and Fairy Peak were very familiar with back in Season 3 when they played with Pashi, as well as they really got used to rotating out on offense, going back on defense, taking somebody out in the midfield line. It's definitely not something both of them are unfamiliar with. And it demoed Yukio, and again, the execution is what got that one through with a bump from Scrub Killer.
And it really just, you know, and just changing the conversation a little bit, you know, this was a matchup that we were really waiting for because of the whole K-Dop storyline.
Yeah.
You know, K-Dop was a part of Dignitas, the most successful Rocket League team in history, with their an undefeated streak that was mind-blowing. And they made a change that no one thought needed to be made. But now, K-Dop, he is experiencing great success. And even in Game 1, you know, scoring that second goal, things are looking very good for K-Dop.
Yeah, this is absolutely best timeline for K-Dop. Darkest timeline
for Dignitas. Yes.
It's looking like an 0-3 start already. They just didn't get anything going in game number 1. And it is a rough start to the season.
You want to look to Yukio in this situation, the guy who had to come in and fill K-Dop's shoes.
Well, I talked about it in week number 1, you know. There's a lot of pressure on Yukio to perform, right? And you got to be that top-level striker. But think about the pressure that Violent Panda and Turbo Pulse are under. You have to be able to open the door and let Yukio develop into that role. And they haven't been able to really get anything going in this week either.
The series isn't over yet. Dignitas can bounce back. But Vitality have just been looking so darn good.
Well, there's a miss. And it's actually allowed Dignitas back the other way. And can they get something going to start it off? Yukio can't get a handle on the air dribble, and K-Dop will tap it away.
And now the follow-up shot. That'll be easily knocked aside by Panda. Yukio, the booming clear. K-Dop on the back wall has a booming clear of his own. Over to Scrub. Scrub with the shot, and wow. Panda stretches to make that save, but now a double commit. K-Dop's going to have some space. Going for the backboard pass, and Yukio cuts it off. But still on the attack, Scrub up. Challenges Turbo here. Fairy will let Scrub stay with it. Scrub actually did steal that boost in the corner as well.
Definitely valued, again, that boost game over just trying to force a challenge with nothing in the tank. Because if he loses, then Violent Panda controls his own corner boost, and they can't continue to lock Dignitas on their own half. And finally, Turbo Pulse had a little bit of space on the midfield line, and see if they can hang on to the ball, but a double commit.
Absolutely. Panda and Yukio, it seems like Violent Panda a lot of times today has been double committing with his teammates. And it has cost Dignitas. Usually a team that is so good with their communication, their positioning, their passing. They're still trying to find something that works, but still 2 minutes passed in game 2. We're tied at 0 apiece.
Nice command there from Scrub Killer.
Oh,
yeah, it went right back to him, but Turbo Pulse trying to open the door, and thankfully, somehow, Renault Vitality cleared that ball away.
That was a clear chance for Dignitas, just barely missing. And now a shot towards net, Fairy off the back wall, making that save. Panda flipping by it. He'll retreat. And now Turbo, not much boost. Yukio getting a demo, but still Turbo boostless towards net.
And still,
good follow-up.
Continuously stealing away that corner boost. It makes it so tough for Dignitas to just have enough resources, but Dignitas just stole Vitality's corner boost. They found Violent Panda all the way across the field and unfortunately couldn't find a gap on the back wall. Vitality will get reset here as both teams trying to figure out how to gain possession.
Panda just missing that opportunity off the wall. Whether he was going for the shot or the pass, we'll never know. Now Turbo getting his flip back off the ceiling. Light hit towards net. He had no boost.
Oof.
Now counterattack. K-Dop trying to dribble it through. Ball over to Scrub in the Dignitas corner. Turbo, clear attempt going off the ceiling. And now off the sidewall, bouncing out to the middle. K-Dop
the
with
speed.
the shot, and he puts it upper 90.
And it came out of nowhere, too, because it was Yukio in the net. That ball kicked straight off the side, drove forward, and he had no clue K-Dop was already up. And that's the top-level striking you always expect from K-Dop, as that, on the money, with power, no chance.
K-Dop really is a world-class striker, showing us his skills right there. And a big moment. Vitality now with the 1-0 lead. Panda, back pass over to Yukio. Yukio has some space, but not a lot of boost to work with. Getting this shot towards net. Follow-up chance for Turbo. Turbo, that shot saved again, but a double commit. K-Dop back towards net, and awkward time for Yukio to flip. He was low on boost, and he just couldn't make the save.
And K-Dop was the patient one in the net, and he just waited for his turn, and it was just a poorly timed flip from Yukio.
I mean, it's what do you do if you're Yukio? You got to
get back.
You have to get back. You have to flip. So, you know, maybe you just try to jump and do a wave dash. Maybe that would have allowed him to get the save, but it was just a very
awkward
split-second situation, awkward scenario. And now another double commit there for Dignitas, but it has been K-Dop. And now the bump play from Scrub yet again. It's a very 1v1 style play here.
And
get the hit, take out your opponent.
He was right there, but again, that angle too aggressive to the ball. Because even if Scrub Killer doesn't bump him, Yukio doesn't get that touch. That ball still went past him.
You know, at the beginning of the day, Chiefs, I'll be honest, I had Dignitas winning this matchup. But after the first series, I was shaking, and now after the second game, I am dead scared of Vitality.
And you should be. And it's been what a turnaround for a team as well in Vitality. They get Scrub Killer last season. Everyone expects them to be the absolute monsters, the Dignitas killers. And there's no other word for it. They tanked. They tanked out of Season 6. Held onto their spot. Looked mediocre at best in the offseason. Then they pick up K-Dop and they make a grand final.
I mean, it arguably could be the biggest roster move ever. Picking up K-Dop off such a successful team. And now, just seconds away from closing out Game 2. Vitality, domination, pure and utter domination. That's all you can say about it in Game 2, as they are just a moment away from completing this shutout. And there it is, Vitality 3-0 in Game 2 over Dignitas.
Stunning fashion as well. Scrub Killer again, monster ability, just opening the door on his own. Plenty of physical plays. K-Dop, masterful striker, very peak as.
Yeah, that top shelf shot by K-Dop, I mean, he was boosting the whole way, just trying to get the right angle on it, and just hammered that ball upper 90.
Made the read instantly, because I remember I was looking, who's the guy in the net for Dignitas, because he saw that ball. It went straight to the side. Yukio starts driving forward, because, you know, he's going to be able to go up and jump and make the read after he sees the bounce. K-Dop didn't wait for the bounce. He was like, all right, it's going right here.
I'm just going to top shelf this real quick. But, you know, Vitality, what's going to happen? Like, Dignitas, they've already been trounced earlier today by PSG. Vitality crushing everyone. Is there any hope for Dignitas? What do they have to do to get back into this?
The biggest thing for me in this game was Dignitas. They did have a couple of chances to go on the offense. We saw it, but the biggest problem, you touched on a little bit, double commits. They take each other out of rotation. They squander a few opportunities to start the offensive rotation, and you'll never know if it could have came to fruition because they never gave it a chance to get started. And it all goes back to, again, that chemistry that Dignitas used to have with K-Dop, and it's adjusting to Yukio. Yeah, they won DreamHack, but it's a different beast.
It's a great point that you make around the chemistry and the synergy. Even Violent Panda, in an interview way back, talked about how important synergy was. And the old Dignitas, you didn't really see them double commit that much.
Except right when they first formed.
Yeah, and now, you know, Yukio, it's still the first season of RLCS where they have Yukio on the roster, but somehow Vitality has hit their stride, whereas Dignitas still seems to be trying to make these puzzle pieces fit together.
Well, we'll see what they can manage here in game number 3. Again, they were at least able to hang on to their boost a little bit more, but it came from hanging onto the ball this time, so we'll see if they fix that in Game 3, and maybe it goes differently. Yeah,
and it's really just the offense where Dignitas really needs that defibrillator shock to come back alive, because the one goal they had was the turbo goal in the waning seconds of game number 1. You know, they need a goal early. And now Panda off the corner is going to go up, try to win it, but Ferry stops him at the midfield. Double commit. That ball towards net, and Yukio finds it. The first goal of the game in favor of Dignitas.
And it's just Violent Panda winning the challenge versus Fairy Peak, and Yukio in position had just enough boost. He used every single drop to get that over Scrub Killer. And Scrub was feeling confident. Just didn't respect that maybe Yukio had him beat that time.
So Dignitas striking first in the first minute. Now Panda going for that challenge, ball out into the middle. Turbo getting shut down by K-Dop. Now Yukio going for a second touch. Fairy Peak accidentally backflipping, but it actually worked out for him. So he was able to get the follow-up hit. Now Scrub off the backboard. Yukio denying the bounce. Center ball.
A nice demo from Turbo. Take away that big cross from Renault Vitality, but again, a little bit lax picking up the hesitation from Vitality in the midfield, and they still managed to punch the ball right in front of the box, and it will slide gently into the middle of the net, and we're tied.
And you can see Kate up here actually trying to snag this goal from Scrub here, but Scrub just had a very good idea to put that shot low. Just try to bounce that in under the defender who was going to come out to challenge, and just like that, Vitality tying it up.
That was actually one of the things that I talked about in the pre-show for week number 1 about Vitality. It feels like K-Dop's a guy, even if he steals your goal, you know, he's going to laugh at you and be like, yeah, get wrecked. And that immediately just, it doesn't matter what the situation is, everybody laughs. And it's that mindset, small but tangible, that a team really appreciates, I feel, that he can also bring to this Vitality team to keep them in line and keep them feeling good about themselves.
It's funny that that's your take on it. My take on it is...
He's also a monster.
Well, there was the one season where he lost the Golden Striker Award by 1 goal. So I just assume he was so scarred by that.
Never again.
He's going to get every goal he can. Now Dignitas trying to start that attack, but K-Dop shuts it down with a long clear. Turbo off to the side. Panda, center ball to Turbo. Turbo shot towards net, easily handled by K-Dop.
Ooh.
Good demo, that could clear up some space, but Yukio couldn't get the center ball. Panda now with the follow-up.
This is good from Dignitas. It's great pressure coming out of the midfield. They're not letting them out for free. Some solid reads from Yukio. He can't get to, but this one's hanging at the top of the box. Violent Panda needed the top left corner. Tough shot to nail, and he couldn't do it.
And you could see their low boost of the defender in net. Now follow-up chance for K-Dop, a weak drop, but that's saved by Panda. Now the other side of the field, or at least attempted. Scrub shutting down the attack, getting the center ball. Turbo missing his hit. Yukio bailing out Dignitas.
It's probably a good thing Turbo missed it, because K-Dop was expecting it to pinch, and he was already headed that way. So Turbo missing allowed Yukio to clear it back into space, but once again, they run into the wall of Vitality at the midfield line, pass to the top of the box, and stopped by Yukio.
Good defense from Yukio. Now on the other side. Yukio trying to drop that underneath the crossbar. Brave effort, but coming up just short.
Now Scrub Killer!
Oh, Scrub in the air, just found himself in the right spot. Now the drop shot by K-Dop, hit off the post. Very, a good chip bouncing down, but Panda gets that read. Dignitas with some strong defense right there.
Hanging tough with a couple of great recovery efforts from Vitality. Can they stop this one? Fairy Peak blasts it off the crossbar, and Scrub Killer will not be able to put that one away. And Dig still. They've struggled in games 1 and 2, but they hang tough here as we count down the final 50 seconds.
Yeah, rare opportunity missed there by K-Dop. Just
Fairy
absolutely Peak. A Fairy Peak. He blasted that one off the crossbar.
Oh,
and now the shot from Panda, that one crossbar as well. Crossbar playing for both sides so far this game. Final 30 seconds before overtime.
Fairy Peak not about to give Violent Panda a third chance at it.
And the Dignitas fighting for their series life. They would be down 0-3 in league play if they lose this situation no one expected them to be in.
Imagine a world where Dignitas starts league play 0-3 and they scored 2 goals in a day.
I wouldn't have believed it. I still am having trouble believing it as we have overtime here. Dignitas still can bounce back. It's going to be a long road, but it starts here with just 1 goal. Violent Panda, the air dribble, shut down by Ferry. Yukio with the challenge, going across the mid. Now Turbo jumping on it. Ferry to the corner. K-Dop gets beat to the ball by Yukio. Ball out into the middle. Dangerous.
Oh.
Yukio almost just closing out the game right there.
Couldn't even imagine Yukio even being able to stay with that one. And you've seen the flashes of brilliance from offense on Dignitas. They've got some great pressure, but it's been that fine-tuning that hasn't allowed them to come away with a victory just yet, as that is kicked aside by Turbo Pulsa off his own back wall.
Now Panda turning around, trying to get this touch. K-Dop taking his time, trying to be unpredictable. Starting to work out. He's getting it by defenders, but the Dignitas defense still holding strong. Turbo, not the greatest clear. Fairy Peak's going to be able to turn on it. Backward pass, double commit.
Oh, and they both missed.
K-Dop going for the pass over to Ferry, and it was just off. K-Dop had options to go to either teammate there.
And that is one that Dignitas will make sure does not happen again. A gift from Renault Vitality.
Ball bouncing back to the middle. Yukio is getting a sliver of that one. Panda, shot behind Scrub, but Scrub makes the save. Follow-up from Yukio, and a save by Scrub on the goal line. A little bit of panic from Vitality now as
they double commit.
They're starting to threaten on the attack. Ferry, the clear over to Turbo. Turbo chips it right back in. K-Dop off the back wall. And now Panda right back into the Vitality corner. Scrub, his clear attempt. Met by Yukio, who hits it right back into the corner. He'll follow up. K-Dop up. Now Turbo on the sidewall. They just keep blasting this corner, and finally Fairy Peak gets a boomer of a clear.
Well, that's
still on the attack. Dignitas refusing to give Vitality an inch.
And that's been the big win for Vitality out of their own corner. It was constantly being chucked at that same part of the field, and they always managed to find a quality, strong clear and never allowed Dignitas to advance forward and start putting the pressure on them.
And again, Dignitas attacking the same Vitality corner. Now shot towards net. Blocked by Fairy Peak. K-Dop going for a double tap pass. Yukio gets to it in time and just nails it towards the backboard. Fairy responds. And now Turbo. Pass out to the middle. That shot going to be wide.
Nice job from K-Dop just cutting in front of Turbo Pulsa and taking that one away. Forces Violent Panda to buy time for Dignitas, and maybe that's what Vitality needed to finally get unstuck from their own half.
Oh, Scrub could end it here, and he does! Scrub with the solo play off the wall. Clutches it for Vitality in overtime.
He just made everyone think so hard, and the command to stay right next to it so nobody knows exactly what he's doing behind the ball. Gets over Turbo, punches it off the bar, and stays right with it. Violent Panda couldn't hang, and Dignitas will fall.
And what a game from Scrub. And talk about that final play. And this is just, you know, those teams that have the individual players that can just step up. Those are the situations where it can just win you games. You know, you think about a team like Splice or EG, you don't expect plays necessarily like that too often. But with a team like Vitality, you've got players like Scrub who can make that happen. And what a way to end that series.
That's the amazing thing, is that every top team in Rocket League has one guy who will just blow your mind with something crazy. Vitality, it's all three of them. They can all do it. Like NRG, always constantly look. Garrett G, Justin, they are both known for that. You look at other teams in Europe, of course, Cookseer can make crazy plays. Mystic makes people think. There's always star players you can count on at a top team, and Vitality has three of them.
Yeah, and they swept Dignitas again. Dignitas was swept twice today.
And they went 4-1 last week.
What is happening at Chiefs?
They're losing.
Is this time to panic for Dignitas?
Panic? Well, let's think about who they played. They've played Barcelona. another top team, a top contender. They've played Vitality, definitely top contender after today. And they played, who did they play earlier today? I can't think.
Who? Dignitas?
Yes.
The PSG.
Thank you. Okay,
Yes.
so that was one that Dignitas needed to win. But
Awesome.
is it panic time? We'll find out next week.
Okay, so you're saying not just yet.
Not just yet.
Don't break the glass.
You can still go 4-3.
You can still, it's not too late.
Yes.
But what a performance that was from Vitality. And to break it all down, we're going to go over to the desk.
What a performance indeed. Oh my goodness. Vitality came out into week 2 absolutely swinging. And it's not just they came swinging with both arms each, they each grew another pair of arms and swung with those too.
6 arms. That was amazing. I just want to say this is what we thought Scrub Killer was going to look like when he showed up in RLCS.
Yeah.
It took him a season to get here, but here he is.
But now the only winless team, Dignitas, in Europe.
Wow.
We didn't expect that.
Wait, whoa. That's not a real sentence.
No, it is.
How did you just say that?
This is a multi-universe now, and we're in some weird one at this point.
Dignitas
I just
into
don't understand. Like, they looked so good at WSOE. They got even better at DreamHack. They won DreamHack, and then it's what happened? Like, over the course of a couple weeks, what happened?
You brought up the double commits, and it just kept happening.
Just kept happening, and also just missing of shots, which we don't expect. They're like Turbo and Violent Panda, just clear shots that they're missing. But I felt like Scrub, he was a huge X factor in the series. A lot of good bump plays. That Game 3 overtime, that was all Scrub with the miracle save and then the brilliant goal. But
The back-to-back miracle saves.
they're just too good. Like, Vitality's too good. All 3 players can do everything.
Yeah, something I think they're doing really well, though, that doesn't show through just shots and goals, is their boost denial has been lethal. The amount of times that you see players, both in Barcelona and on Dignitas, in that back half, with nothing at all to show for it.
No.
I mean, again, like, if he has boost there, it's not an issue.
True, but it just seems like every time they don't have boosts, big mistakes coming out from Yukio or double commits right here. Just a brilliant play from Scrub. That's just a 1v1 play where it's like, I know I have you, Yukio. You are done. And it's just, you just can't have double commits when you're playing Vitality, because then if it's a 1v1 situation, they will beat you. And here's the overtime goal. Scrub Killer, man, showing up.
That was good. Now the question is, was that strictly due to Renault Vitality just suffocating Dignitas, or did it come down to, you know, an individual player making too many mistakes that the team couldn't work on Dignitas?
I feel like a 7% shooting percentage can't be one player's fault. You know, like it can't be one player's fault. It can't be one player that's like stopping him on the goal line. Like everyone on Vitality was playing great. Everybody had their issues on Dignitas. They need to start at the ground level and rebuild this team, because at this right now there's almost nothing good to point at.
And it's just crazy because we talk about that historic league play from last season where they went 21-4. Well, if you include the regional championship and the world championship, they only had 8 total losses versus Europe. They already have 9, and it's 3 series in. So Dignitas, they're at the bottom of the barrel. They have to fight to make the playoffs at this point. It's insane.
So we start to ask the question, though, on Dignitas, was KDOP the glue? You know, or could you have taken any of these other players off that and they still would have had...
But to come back to Lawler's point of, like, they won DreamHack, they didn't look bad at WSOE. Like, what happened with this team in the meantime? I can't look at Yukio and say that it's his fault, you know? Like, it does kind of have the vibes of the complexity roster move from last season, but it's a very different situation, but equally as catastrophic so far.
Guys, can I show you something really, really weird?
What's that?
We're going to take a look at the standings.
Okay.
Right now, they are just absolutely. This is silly.
Well, this is the schedule.
Oh yeah, sorry, and then the standing. But like, this is still silly, right now.
Look at the 2 losses, 2 different.
And they were sweeps.
It was all 3-0s almost all day. One of those was not a 3-0.
Someone on the Bricks and Mouse didn't get the memo. What are you guys doing?
Come on, Mouse Sports. You were supposed to lay an egg, man.
Well, I thought we were playing real games this week. No, this was nuts. Just so lopsided. And there's the weird one. Dignitas is at the bottom. You mentioned it, but now to see it is just absurdity.
They are the recent LAN winners. Like, they are the world's best team at DreamHack, and they're 0-3. It just shows Europe is so competitive, but I still wouldn't want to play Dignitas, I think, because they have to start winning at some point, right?
That's how much power this name carries.
I don't know.
That's how good this team was. They can start at least play 0-3, and you're like, I don't know if I still want to play them, you know?
I think we forget how big of a difference it is when you have a full team working together. And that's something that's different. We have a new player with Yukio, and we put a lot of expectations because that name carries weight. It is time to start anew. This is a new Dignitas, and unfortunately, it's not a good start for them.
But, like, Violent Panda and Turbo Pulse are double committed on things, too. Like, they should know better. They should not be be a
But at
problem
the
for
same
these
time,
players.
under panic and under lack of boost, like they're just trying to get it out. Like I can understand why things happen. Should they happen? Definitely not.
He's
by
the
all means.
three-time, you know, like he's been in this situation more than anybody.
Like it's insane because one of the most important series now going forward is going to be Dignitas versus Mouse Sports at some point.
Yeah, right.
No one expected that.
That's so odd.
It's
And Mouse has been playing good. Like it's not a freebie like some of us would think it would be.
yeah. Oh yeah.
big
And
deal.
also Dignitas, like you probably want to play him next week because it's just they smell blood in the water, and at this point, just keep taking them out.
All right, it's that time of day where we talk about our player of the week, and could it be anyone other than one from that last series? It's K-Dop.
I mean, how do you
right?
not? I know we debated about it in the first series a little bit because everybody was involved. Everybody was doing just about anything you wanted them to. But I think K-Dop really solidified it here, playing against his old team, just showing them what he was made of. A couple solo plays, dribble plays to set everybody up. It was great from K-Dop today.
In a day where we have this many sweeps, there are many standout players that did well. But to do as well as he did against the competition he did up against his former team, it's got to be K-Dop.
Oh, it's just sweet, sweet nectar, right? To just sweep Dignitas after they take you at DreamHack, like. We have to talk about Fairy Peak a little bit too. He's never won a title, and Dignitas didn't let that happen. And K-Dop and Fairy Peak have been close before. I know K-Dop wants to win one for Fairy Peak, not only for himself, but right now, Vitality, easily best team in the world.
Now, the question is, out of all the roster changing, we've seen a lot over the years.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like this K-Dop one over to the Renault team is probably one of the best we've ever seen. One of the best decisions.
For them.
Not for
Everybody else, it's been...
But it's weird, because if K-Dop is on Dignitas right now, maybe Dignitas is 3-0, just dominating everyone too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Just back to normal. I mean, I think so far as like first 2 weeks, yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, so now that we've seen NA, we've seen EU, and I'm not sure what we saw in EU, but we've seen it. Final thoughts on today?
Dude, RLCS just keeps getting better and better. Keep it coming. Yeah. It's great.
It's going to be a juicy final 3 weeks. Again, I'm going to be watching Dignitas every single series. Like, are they going to make playoffs? And then if they do make playoffs, we know Dignitas can step up. It's going to be really exciting to watch.
Next week, TSM versus Vitality. One team's got to lose that 0 on the end. I'm excited to watch Ignite versus Scrub, and it's good to see Scrub back.
Yeah, well, speaking of next week, why don't I head on over and take a look at what we got? Of course, week 3 for Europe is going to continue next week at 8:30 for the pre-show. Make sure you guys show up for that. But honestly, for me, it's not a particular match I'm looking forward to. To me, it's seeing if Renault Vitality can keep up this insane streak. 2 3-0s for them. Of course, Rival Series, I need to let you guys know, is happening at 9 a.m. on Friday. You don't want to miss that. And, of course, you need to buy your tickets to LAN. What are you doing? If you haven't bought them yet, I'm coming to kick your butt. Get them on tickets.rlesports.gg, and I'd better see you there. But anyways, that's it for me for this week. We'll see you next week in week 3. I'm Lee Feck signing off. We'll see you then.
But he will not hear the end of that. You know, a turbo pulsar reaction. And, look at this!
Vitality can't save. The woodwork is saving right now.
And now an open chance for K-Dop potentially. It throws a change-up.
Gives him with the change-up. Possibility of a complete shutout in the series in Europe as K-Dop puts it on
K-Dop!
Oh, the man is on fire. You have the ball over there, and then they'll wait for a mistake and score off of that. Here comes Shaw set for another one, again and in. Deflection to the side of the demolition on a Yukio. This is a good opportunity for PSG. They get it past 2. Here comes Fair in with the last shot to put it in and win the game. PSG. But there's the one that could possibly work with the Fruity cuts back in the tight rotation. And Fair with another shot on to sink it in. The nail in the coffin.
Clear with no pressure coming out of Triple Trouble is just what TSM needed to get their feet back under him, get some boost in the tank, and maybe force an attack, and it will be Metza Norris.
Right to Ronicky, and he passes it to the middle, and Casio blocked out.
Whoa, surprise!
Morgan, and saved by Metza Norris. TSM, but TSM, they have been the toughest nut to crack. Flipping it up, and there it is for Runco going down the field. TSM take game number 2.
Forward speed, tries to go back post. Alex is already there. And both teams making sure to get the balls on target. Mystic again opens the door. There's Cooks here. They missed the clear, and it'll be the bricks. In front of Turbo Pulse and taking that one away forces Violent Panda to buy time for Dignitas, and maybe that's what Vitality needed to finally get unstuck from their own half.
Scrub could end it here, and he does!